And we're live.
Hello, Facebook world. How are you doing on this beautiful Thursday morning? Hopefully well. So we have a Facebook Live for you today, and my name's Krista. This is Monica. We're the founders of Fearless Public Speaking. We help business owners who have a big message and story to share in the world, and we help them to find their voice and reach millions and make an impact. So
yeah, we do. And so today we're going to do things just a little bit differently too. We want to see your comments. We want to talk to all of you. We're going to address your comments at the end of the video. We'll give you a sneak peek on why. This is really good tips for all of you, is that you can reutilize your content from Facebook Lives for things like your podcasts and for your YouTube videos. And it gets a little ugly sometimes if you are talking to people in the comments throughout the video. So we're going to try, we're not ignoring you at all, but we're going to address all your comments at the end, just so it's really easy for us to repurpose, because repurposing your content is super, super important and saves you a whole lot of time.
Exactly. Thank you for explaining that, Monica. Okay, so today's hot topic is going to be how to overcome overwhelming anxiety and fear when starting a new business. And we recognize as business owners that there is so many different things going through your mind when you're starting a business, and you are stepping completely outside of your comfort zone in maybe the biggest way ever. And with that, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming on. I always like to say that starting a business is like the best personal development course ever. But with that, that means that you have to be ready and prepared to face all your stuff that's going to come up. And so we have a couple tips today to share with you on how to help you to navigate that. And just so you know that you're not alone and you're not the only one going through this, and that you can feel everything that you're feeling and still be so successful in your business at the end of the day. So you ready to get started?
Ready.
Okay, cool. All right. So step number one is you want to train your brain to focus on what you want versus what you don't want. And I can relate to this. I'm sure Monica can relate to this, and all the clients we coach, I know that we help them through this too. It's so easy to say, like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I hope this happens. It's just so easy to get focused on the negative. And then that's like you putting signals and messages out into the universe, asking for that exact thing to happen, which we don't want. So, right, an example would be, I don't want to feel so overwhelmed, or I wish I had more time, right? Who here, I feel like I'm giving a speech right now, who here can relate to saying those things in your mind over and over again throughout the day, right? So how we can turn that around is saying, I'm so grateful for the ease and fun I have in my business, or I have all the time in the world to get things done. Also, let's see, I am in my third trimester right now, so almost 31 weeks pregnant with my first baby boy, and I really, really want to have a home birth. I am planning to have a home birth with a midwife. There's a huge backstory there. I was labor and delivery nurse for 5 years, and I caught myself at the beginning of the pregnancy saying, I don't want to have a hospital birth. I hope I don't end up in the hospital. And I realized I had to change that around in my mind, right? And so now I say, I am so grateful for a fast and easy home birth. And that becomes my new story. And what I would recommend is you're going to have to spend the next 21 days practicing this and letting it become a habit in your mind before it just becomes natural and you don't even have to think about it. So, Monica, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, well, and it also comes down to changing your verbiage around like intention and what you intend. And this is straight from Wayne Dyer, which I've been reading a lot of lately. But with Wayne Dyer, it's even changing things like to I intend to have for it to be easy and to have fun in my business. I intend to be successful and attract prosperity. Like when you say that you intend it, you are intending for that to happen. And that speaks a whole different thing out into the world, and the energy you put out is different than wanting also. So, intention is something you probably all heard a lot if you've done meditation or yoga or anything. You set an intention, but these are the intentions and the affirmations that you tell yourself every single day. Like if Krista and I are talking about, I can't wait for like this launch and we're going to be bringing in so much money and helping so much people, whatever. And I'm like, no, the money's already here. So we just changed the story to, I'm so grateful for this money that's already here. I'm so grateful for these clients that we're helping that are already here. Even before we actually have that occur, we're speaking the language, which our brains don't know differently. What we feed into them is what is actually going to attract, like attracts like. Negative attracts negative, positive.
Yep. And a quote that I heard one time is, worrying is praying for what you don't want.
Mm.
Right? Powerful. Yeah. So, and worrying is so heavy and it really doesn't accomplish anything at the end of the day. And again, I don't want to be up here and say, stop worrying, because like, I do want to acknowledge it's hard. It's hard not to worry. And I know Monica's not free of it. I'm not free of it, but we have learned over the years how to manage it more effectively and how to still show up our businesses even on those days where we're feeling all the feels. Okay.
So I can take step 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
So step 2 is do the damn thing. Stop thinking about it. Do the damn thing and stop thinking about it. Okay. I'm guilty of this. I know Krista is. We all are. We have all these ideas and we're like, these great things that we're going to do, whatever. And it becomes debilitating in action because we get scared, right? We're like, well, what if this? I got to tell you guys, this morning I was walking Axel, one of my dog walk jobs, and I was thinking, like, what do I want to create? What do I want to create? A workshop, a retreat, an event, blah, blah, blah. What do I want to create here in Colorado, live in person for me? And I came up with a couple of ideas, but then all of the voices in my head were like, well, other people already are doing that. People in your community do that, and you'll take away from them if you do that. And nobody's going to come. And why would they pay you? And all of those things. And you know what? In the past, that has kept me from doing a damn thing. Right. So I just ran a women's circle a couple weeks ago. This was the first one that I ran by myself in my house. I charged $40 a piece and I said, I will invite 10 people. And I just did it. And 9 people signed up and it was fantastic. And so we get in the space of telling ourselves, you can't do that. No one's going to pay it. So what? If you put it out there and you create the thing, so what? You did it and you learn from your failures. Taking messy action is really important. So Peter Lynch, who is one of my favorite mentors, and he did a TED Talk as well, if you look him up, but he was my VP in the corporate space for a short period of time. And he always said, perfect is the enemy of done. Perfect is the enemy of done. So if you wait, if you're a perfectionist, you're only trying to impress yourself, honestly, because in the end, people are just going to be so psyched for what you put out there. And it's all about that energy around what you put out there and that you're excited about it. And people are going to want to, invest in that and be part of that with you.
Mm-hmm. And something to add to that too is when we're planning, when we're stuck planning in our head, it's like, oh, excuse me. Oh, I have to do this and I have to do that and that and that and that and that. It's going to be so much work and boo-hoo, right? But at the end of the day, like if you would actually like time yourself or just write down on a piece of paper, like what does go into a launch? You have to write an email. You have to write a Facebook post. Maybe you do, a couple of personal reach outs. You create a cover photo on Facebook. Like there is a lot of stuff to do. And we're actually going to be having an online workshop coming up here pretty soon, helping people to have simple and easy launches. But really in the grand scheme of things, like it doesn't take that long. Like it might take 15 minutes to write a Facebook post, right? Or it might take 10 minutes to write an email to your list. So it's like, once you give yourself permission again to just do the thing, do the damn thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's looking to hire a coach who's perfect anyways. Let it be messy. And then before you know it, you're like doing all these amazing things, to launch and you're having people reach out and they're interested. But it's like when you think about it all in your head, that's when it feels overwhelming. It feels like there's a million things to do, a million steps. But really at the end of the day, a lot of these things don't take that long to do. And another reframe I like to think about it too is like when I was a nurse, I was working 12 hours a day for 3 days a week, right? And now, for some reason, I kind of like, what do I want to call it? I kind of feel like I'm become a princess, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to sit down for an hour or two and write a Facebook post or do a Facebook Live or send an email out to my list. And I get like all like, you know what I'm trying to say? What's the word I'm looking for? I get all like
Annoyed.
annoyed. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't believe I have to do all this work. And then I'm like, Krista, snap out of it. Like, you're either going to be doing work in a business you love from home with the flexibility and being your own boss, or you're going to go back to the nursing world and you're going to be on your feet and miserable and burnt out for 12 hours. So, like, you have to choose your battles at the end of the day, but you always have to do work somewhere. So,
Well, that's a good point, because when it comes to starting a new business, I know Krista and I can both relate to this, and I'm sure many, 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 if not all of you can relate to this. How many times per day or week or whatever does a thought pop in your head where you're like, God, it would be so much easier if I just like had a corporate job and I just came to work every day and I just left at the end of it and I didn't have to worry about doing all this other stuff. And my question back to myself is always, but would you be happy? But would you be happy, right? Like for me, happiness matters more. To some people, it doesn't. To some people, like providing for their family and having that stability. I mean, providing for your family is going to be important no matter what kind of job you're in, but having that stability is really important to them, and that's totally okay. And there are ways to make that work and to transition into a place of entrepreneurship if that's something you're interested in. But bottom line is, if happiness is an important aligned life value for you, then going back to that is always, you're going to be playing the what if game forever. But what if I would have stuck with it? Because it's through discomfort. With discomfort comes growth, right? And with growth comes discomfort. So you're growing when this shit happens, when shit hits the fan. I can't tell you how many freakouts I've had over the past weeks, months, whatever. And I always come out on the other side stronger.
mhm. And you can create stability in your business. It does take some time because you're creating something from scratch.
And trust. It takes trust for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like you can get there, but right, we do have to decide to show up every day, every week and be committed and stay unattached from outcomes. And so we can create that stability, but we do have to give ourselves time, and it's not going to happen in one weekend. Sorry guys, but it's just not.
Well, and this is, I think we can all get caught up in that hype sometimes. I don't know about you, Krista, but for me, like stepping into the coaching world, I was like, oh my God, all these people are so successful. They're making six figures. Like, I could totally do that this year. It's going to happen the first year. Now, I'm not saying it can't, but I also know that I value balance in my life, and I value time for leisure and doing other things and healing myself. So being realistic with yourself on how much are you willing and able to give versus how much do you need to take care of yourself and to make sure you're regenerated and everything before you burn yourself out, because you could burn yourself out just as fast in your own business, if not faster, than in a job that you're not happy in, if you don't figure out what's important to you. If this is your one thing, this is the only thing that matters to you, cool, like throw everything into it, that's fine. Or if you have other values that align with that, that's cool too. But just being patient is a value that I'm definitely having to learn. And this is why it's so important to have people in your space, to have that community of people who can kick you in the ass lovingly, as I like to say, bring you back to yourself and get you to focus on what's really important to you and remember what your goals are, and that's what you said you wanted. So, that's kind of why Chris and I do what we do.
Mhm. Okay, so our third tip is know that you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. And I literally have, I know you guys can't see it that well, but I have this like felt board quote thing back there, and it says, be open to the possibility that there's nothing wrong with you. So, what can happen is when we wake up every morning with that pit feeling in our stomach of like, oh my gosh, is this all going to work out? Am I going to make money? Am I going to, fill up all my spaces in my next program? And then you start to say, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling so fearful? Why am I not more confident? Why am I not more trusting? What, like, we go into these self-sabotage journeys, and it's so mean to ourselves. And then on top of, and it's heavy and it's exhausting. And then on top of that, we think like we're the only ones who are fucking up or screwing up, and that everyone else out there is doing it right and we're doing it wrong. And then again, you get stuck in your head and you don't ever do the damn thing. So, again, Monica and I, we've been coaching for a couple of years now. We've worked with lots and lots of clients and business owners, and they all go through this, us included. We go through these stories, we go through these fears, these emotions, like it's just normal and it's common. And then, you throw in some messy life breakdowns on top of it. And then it's like you're hiding or you're just giving up on your business altogether. And it's like, we have to understand that you can be going through all this, you can coexist with the breakdowns, with the fear, with the emotions, and you can still be really successful, and you can still launch, and you can help clients, and you can make a shit ton of money. But if the story is in your head, I can either be successful or I can have a life breakdown, then you're not going to choose both, and you can have both. And I have had both at the end of the day.
Well, this is something that's clearly been coming up a lot for me lately. And I know that I've been showing up through all this shit because it's important for me to show you all that you can still be like really down or going through depression or breaking up with antidepressants, trying to figure everything out. And when you reach out and you ask for community and you ask for support, that's where you're lifted up and you're able to have those breakthroughs and get to the other side. And I know that Krista had given me this advice the other day that she just shared, because I was in total breakdown. Like, we had a meeting, we're going through all our stuff, working and everything, and I'm just like, and lost my shit. And she lovingly kicked me in the ass to say, like, you can have both, and you don't have to do either or. You're not just your breakdown. You're not just your success. Like, you are all of these things. And it's so easy for us to try and put ourselves in these boxes. Like, I am this thing, this label. I am depressed. I am successful, whatever it is. I am my business. And labels are bullshit, you guys. Like, labels lock you down into something. They categorize you in a way that pretty much never feels good. And it's just crap, right? So being successful through your fear and breakdowns, for me, looks like sharing. And I think that's another thing too, is when we get really down on ourselves, we forget to reach out because we think we're going to inconvenience other people. And like Krista said, other people are going through the same shit. When we start speaking up about this stuff, they're like, oh my God, it's not just me. I had a woman just this morning. I was checking my Facebook. I posted yesterday, I think, about the fact that I've been going through these breakdowns and all the shit that I've had the past few years that's gone on, whatever. And she wrote a really beautiful post this morning, and she tagged me in it and said, because Monica wrote her post, I felt like I could write this post. And I'm like, that's it right there. That's why I do what I do. Right. And so if you don't show up for yourself and in your business, and you don't ask for the help that you need, people want to help you. I know I've said this in other lives before. People want to help you. You just have to tell them how. And even if telling them how is that I don't really know right now, I just needed you guys all to witness me, like, that's okay too.
That's so beautiful. I love that when we share our own stories and lessons, that it encourages and inspires other people to share theirs. And that's really actually the founding principle behind fearless public speaking, is helping people to share their unfiltered voices. So that way it inspires others that they can do the same thing. And so again, so powerful. And another thing too is, just remember, and this is going out to the coaches here, because we have a lot of coaches who work with us, that anytime you're going through your own stuff and you're able to overcome it, that's just more confidence that you get to use to help your clients to go through their stuff. Because you have to remember, when you're a coach, you're working with people who have fucked up mindset issues, and they're living in this scarcity story 24/7, and they're looking for someone to help them to get out of breakdowns. And if you've never been through that stuff yourself and you can't, empathize, like, how are you truly going to be able to help other people with their shit? So again, it's okay to go through your stuff, and it's like boot camp and training, essentially just making you a better coach. So that way you can really, serve your clients at the end of the day.
And I've heard other newer coaches also say, like, why would anyone listen to me? Why would people want to do this work with me? Because like I'm talking about doing this work, but I'm still doing it myself and I still fail at it and blah, 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 whatever. And I mean, guilty as well of saying the same thing. We all are. People want someone who is just a little bit ahead of them.
Right.
They trust you because you've been through the shit and you're still working through it and you're a little bit ahead of them. That's a big trust builder. And you're talking about it. Like all of those things put together builds trust. It builds people's faith in you that like, oh man, well, I don't have to be perfect to go work with them. Cool. Like we can work through this together and they're going to support me and they know exactly where I've been, not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago, but like they freshly know that. There's value in that newness, in that I'm still here, but I have tools that help me get through it. And so let me share that with you and help you through it.
Yeah, I personally love to hire coaches who are just a couple steps ahead of me and that I can relate to. These coaches who are running like multi-million-dollar businesses on there and they have all these beautiful sales funnels set up and all the bling and I don't know. I can't relate to that right now. That's not exactly where I'm at. Like I want someone who's a little bit closer, to my journey. And so again, like, yeah, you don't have to be a million steps ahead for someone to hire you, maybe just like one or two. Again, it's like people really want to feel heard and seen and understood. And sometimes like if you're way up here and you're like making millions of dollars and you're flying on jet planes around the world and you're, we
want to get there. We're going to get there.
We're going to get there. Right. And you're, constantly working from a poolside in Tulum, Mexico. Like, I mean, that's awesome. But sometimes that just feels a little bit like, I don't really know if they're going to understand, like for me, I really want to work with, I'm working with a coach right now who understands that I'm getting ready to be a new mom. And I really need help being able to balance being a new mom and a successful business owner at the same time. And so again, like, yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, Monica, because I think that's so valuable for people to know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we've been talking about community and creating community and everything. So like Krista, talk to us about Speaker Space, because this is exactly what we've been talking about right now.
Yeah, Speaker Space. Okay. So this is our newest online group coaching program that Monica and I have been creating for a while. The universe asked us to create this for you all. It's going to be opened up to 6 women. We already have 2 enrolled. We start next week on March 5th. And you're going to be working very closely with Monica and I every Thursday for 2 hours. And we're going to be mentoring business owners who they feel like they have this big purpose, this big life story, this message, and they're ready to start transforming that into retreats and workshops and group programs and podcasts and Facebook Lives and YouTube videos, right? So like you really want to take your message and your business to the next level, and you truly understand that if you're going to get to that level of success and visibility that you want, you need coaches guiding you, again, who are a couple steps ahead of you. And you also need that powerful support from community. A lot of times for us as business owners, when we work behind our computer at home, it gets really lonely and isolating. And that's when we get stuck in the planning mode and we get all in our head. And so it's so inspiring every week to be surrounded by other passionate, badass women who are, have big goals. And, you're going to walk away from these weekly sessions being like, fuck yes, I'm ready to go launch. I'm ready to make a shit ton of money. I'm ready to, put out that program that I haven't been putting out for years. Like, it's going to be so fun. And so, Monica, what else would you want to add to why you're excited about Speaker Space?
I think it's this whole idea of community too. Like I've seen one of the women who's enrolled in Speaker Space already. She was at our last retreat too, and just watching her and the power of her being in community with other powerful women, and she's going out there and like doing things together with other women left and right. She has that community, whether it's a virtual session she's doing with another woman that was at our retreat every week, or whether it's a live session she's doing with another woman. Like, that power of community creates this momentum, and you're going to find other people who are excited about the same or similar things to you, or something different that complements what you're doing. And there's that opportunity to partner. And for me, partnership is huge. You don't have to go like sell stuff together or launch stuff together. You can if you want, but it just creates this whole different space of ideas. And like Krista and I, we love working together so much because Krista's the big idea person. She has the amazing ideas, and I'm the executioner, as I'll say. I'm the one who like executes all the stuff and is like, okay, here's all the tasks we need to do to get there. And so the more in space you are with other people, especially other entrepreneurs who are going through the same stuff as you can show up messy as fuck whenever you need to, and we're going to guide you through it. We're going to feel it with you, and we're going to help you get out of it and find that breakthrough. And then you can talk about what you want to do, and we're going to help you figure out how to do it. And it's not just me and Krista. This is the beauty of this kind of group, and we're keeping it small because we want to make sure that it's more like a pod. It's more like a working group. It's more like a small community where we all know each other's shit, and we really get deep into the weeds with each other in the nitty gritty to make sure that you are kicking ass at whatever it is that you set your mind out to do this year. So I'm just super psyched about getting to spend that time and just getting to play on a really deep level with the 6 women or those identifying as women who are going to join us.
Yes. And on top of that, you get access to our monthly online workshops that we host every month. So you're going to get 6 of those. That's a $600 value. And then on top of that, you're going to have an opportunity to upgrade to our heart-based sales retreat in Colorado this September, our Fearless Public Speaking Academy that's coming into April. So you're going to get all the goods. And again, you're going to actually get shit done at the end of the day. It's again, right? It's so easy to get stuck in our head with all these stories of like, oh, no one's buying, or I can't charge this amount of money, or I don't have enough experience to get started. Like Monica and I are going to help you to blast through those stories really quickly, because you need to be fucking successful like today. I'm not talking about like a month from now or 6 months from now. Like we don't even know if the world is still going to be here 6 months from now. So, right? Like we need you to be ready today to start selling, launching, marketing, getting your message out into the world, helping people. You got to get out of your head. You know, it's not helping you. It's not helping your family. It's not helping your audience. It's not helping your clients. So that's why we've created Speaker Space. And again, the universe has been asking us for a while to put this together. So this is just my advice to anyone and this is a group for spiritual women as well, or if you want to learn more about how to combine spirituality with business. But when the universe asks you to create something, you have to listen, because if you don't, it's going to bother you and you're not going to be able to sleep at night. And anything the universe asks you to create, it's going to be so fucking successful because the universe is on your side. They've already told all your spirit guides about how to help you. You have this whole team behind you. Oh my gosh, because I could go on forever. I love teaching women how to combine running their businesses with their spiritual beliefs and practices. And that's a big thing we'll talk about in Speaker Space as well.
Okay, so we're going to drop in the comments the link to sign up for Speaker Space. It's only $150 deposit due right now. And then it'll be listed in there what the payment plans are and everything. We've got 6-month payment plans available, which are really reasonable. And there's the option to upgrade to the VIP package, which gets you a seat in the Fearless Public Speaking Academy, which starts in April, where we'll really dig into the nitty gritty of public speaking, give you lots of practice. And then also the heart-based sales retreat here in Colorado in September, which is also going to be amazing. So we'll drop the link in here. I'm also going to drop in the flyer that has all the details so you can kind of see them all listed out. And please drop me and or Krista a note with questions. Like, we don't want you to feel like, oh my God, I can't do this, or I can't afford it, or whatever. Like, drop us a note if you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling this and I want to find a way to make it happen. And we're going to talk to you, right? Like we want to talk with you about where you're at and just hear what your goals are. So don't hesitate to drop us a note, because we definitely want to talk to you and get to know you. That's super important for us.
Yeah. If you're feeling, if you've been following us for a while or even just a short while, and you like our energy, you like our message, our mission, and you're like, oh, speaker space, that sounds interesting. It feels, bubbly and exciting in my body. Like, let's explore it together. Let's talk about it. We can find a way, to make it happen for you. And again, that's where growth happens and success happens, is it's actually taking action and letting in more support and not trying to figure out everything on
alone. Yes.
Because that's the quickest way to failure, in my opinion. So,
well, wrapping up our video. So thank you everyone for being here. And I just wanted to address the notes here. We had my friend Mike here the whole time. He said, sometimes breakdowns are breakthroughs. Yeah, Mike, you're absolutely right. Like you have to go through the breakdown to get through the breakthrough. No questions, just want to say awesome talk, whether you're starting a business or just growing through life. It was super awesome. Thanks, Mike. That means a lot to us. Tina is here with us. You can show everyone in your post that you can turn it around. Yeah. And Tina is Krista's client. And that's why I'm here. I think I saw that pop in when we were talking about people who were a couple steps ahead. And that's why Tina's here working with Krista. And Tina, we just know that we're going to be working with you in so many capacities. Like super psyched to get to know you, girl. Awesome.
Yes. Cool. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we go live every Thursday, I think around this time now. We're going
to be changing it to Wednesdays though, because Speaker Space is on Thursdays.
That's right. Yeah. So just so you all know, Speaker Space is every Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm not going to convert all the different times.
Do the math. Go Google it.
But yeah, every Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, that's when Speaker Space will start, and we'll be moving our Facebook Lives to Wednesdays.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.